Hi, I'm Stephanie Burt. Just like some who've come before me, I eat, I travel, I write, and I talk. Boy, do I talk. But I also listen too. And these are some of the stories I hear and experience around the Southern table. They are rooted in personal and cultural history, resonance with seasonality and the living environment, and a passion for high-level craft that in its pursuit offers the possibility of sustenance from one hand to another. Let's dig in. On this Halloween, I'm all about the treats more than the trick. And if you're in Savannah, you can't miss visiting a bakery for a sweet treat. This city has a legacy of great bakeries, from the once epic Gottlieb's Bakery, which first opened its doors in 1884, to Cheryl and Griff Day's beacon of deliciousness, Back in the Day Bakery, which closed in 2024 after they retired from 22 years in business. There's plenty of good bread and baked goods to be had today in the city, and one place to make a sweet brunch date out of a bakery stop is at Auspicious Baking Company, where owners Kaitlin, Bryant, and Mark Ekstrom are living out a dream they said yes to, even though they didn't quite see it coming in quite this way. Welcome to the Southern Fork, you two.
Thank you.
Thanks
for coming.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. It's a beautiful marsh backdrop.
We are on Whitmarsh Island. The creek behind us is technically Turner Creek.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, this is big. There's a cafe. There's a production bakery. I mean, there's a lot going on over here.
Yes, we definitely moved into some square footage.
What is the total square footage here?
It's just over 10,000 square foot. And
Wow.
we were coming from a 2,700 square foot location to just over 10. And by the time we pack everybody in here and get production up and running, the 10,000 doesn't seem as big as it was when we were walking through with the empty space.
If you're familiar with Savannah, you might remember this building was originally built as Paula Dean's Creek House Seafood and Grill restaurant. Therefore, the bakery's revamping of this space is symbolic of the new culinary chapter the city is writing. The building is their second location. Their first is in Sandfly, and you can also taste their handiwork through wholesale accounts at many other places in town. On Whitmarsh, the guest is invited to ramble through multiple rooms, beginning with a retail bakery, then a production area with large glass windows, then a full-service restaurant called Bread and Butter that has creek views and enough room to fit the whole family in for a celebratory lunch. It's a big leap for a couple who launched their business in 2017 with a Sundays-only concept, fueled by GoFundMe donations. I have a soft spot in my heart for baking. I've been a baker in my kitchen for a
Nice.
long time. I was a production baker at Callie's Biscuit. Shout out Harry Morey.
Oh, wow. I did
Back
not
in
know
the
that.
day,
Ah.
yes. So we made 10,000 biscuits by hand
Wow.
back then.
You probably had some serious biceps.
No, I didn't. And you know why? Because I ate them. I would be like, only one a day. You just never get tired of biscuits. And I think you should know that because you make beautiful biscuits here. But being a hobby baker, liking to use Wilton products at home is very different than what you do here at Auspicious. And you do it together. So how did you decide to really, I don't know if even clock in, but is the right word, but get serious about the craft of baking? Because it's a practice.
Sure.
And it is, in a way, a very solo meditation that you have to commit to.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. I think growing up in the hospitality industry and being very involved in food service since a young age for Mark and I both, we always knew this was kind of our ultimate direction. We ended up moving to Georgia to really build our career in food service. It wasn't until, I want to say, 2015, 2016 that my attention turned from just anything kitchen related to, wow, I got the sourdough bug. And that was through a chef I was working with on River Street. They introduced me to what naturally leavened breads were. I got a little bit of his sourdough culture. He shared a basic formula. And then it was, if I wasn't at work, I was in the home kitchen experimenting and just trying to like learn by fire at my own pace. And it just, like everything else for us, just naturally kind of picked up that traction.
You knew it was serious when you bought a kitchen scale, didn't you?
Yeah, I bought my first KitchenAid with paycheck from work and was like, I'm a real baker now. And we laugh about it because I think it was like maybe a 6-quart mixer. And now our largest one is like 160-quart mixer. So we're like,
my goodness.
yeah, definitely a
Things
change.
have grown a little bit.
Yeah. When Auspicious began, they would bake for 3 days, then sell out in 45 minutes. But when your hands are deep in flour and butter on the daily, practice takes precedence over problem solving, namely how to grow. That's where Mark comes in.
I've gotten into baking by backing up Katie. Katie is the chef. I'm really the engineer and the problem solver on the backside of things. So with baking, and I think with any kitchen work, you have the art of the food, and then you really rely on the equipment that you're working with as well, too, to kind of keep you going. And that's where I kind of stepped in. My baking.
Well, good. If you can fix a Hobart, you are in demand.
I got a couple of those under my belt. Yes. Yeah.
That's great. I read in one of the interviews that it was a nostalgic kind of what your grandmother would make, that kind of nostalgic baking. Katie, how did that part of baking? Because you could go patisserie, you could, am I even saying that right? You could go, fine dining plated,
Sure.
which I love chefs that do that as well. How did you kind of gravitate toward this area?
I think it's what we wanted, what we were looking for. When we travel, we are such foodies. We go into the local bakeries, go into the local restaurants, and it's that approachable yet refined food that we're always looking for. We want to eat something that's familiar, but also elevated.
Yeah, talk to us about elevating blueberry muffins with brown butter. They come at the beginning, right?
Yeah. So that's our complimentary dish that we serve here in the restaurant, and the restaurant's namesake, bread and butter. So I felt like we really needed to present bread and butter when the guests were being seated, a gift to them as they are anticipating their plates to come. And we just wanted to do something a little bit different than basic chip butter on the plate. We already work with a really great quality butter, very high fat, European style churn butter. And we thought if we added a little bit of brown milk solids to that, whipped it up so it was nice and airy, that it would pair really nicely with the tart.
You pipe
in
it.
the blueberry muffins. Yeah. Yep.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, and the blueberry muffins are tart. And I think that is something that's important to point out in Southern baking because of our proximity to the ports, just like Savannah, where we're sitting right now. Baking was sugary sweet because we had sugarcane.
Sure.
And
Yes.
we had sugarcane coming up from the port, around Florida into the Savannah port.
A lot of sugar coming through.
A lot of sugar coming through here. So things are really sweet. What is your personal palate on that?
I always say my favorite seasoning, if I was stuck on an island, it would be salt. Salt is the perfect balance for everything. And we do a pretty well-balanced menu in that aspect. Not only in the bakery case do we provide a lot of savory, but in the restaurant, it's a pretty fair split on the menu as well. You really can't go all sweet. You got to have that balance there.
Mm-hmm.
But
Super important.
A good sweet cookie with a little salt over top of it, it's the chef kiss that makes it pop, I think.
Yes, I have a friend who makes chocolate chip cookies, and they have that
Malted
salt
salt.
on,
Yes.
the malted salt on top, and have good baking friends, and it might be my favorite cookie, and I know it's super #basic. I just can't get away from a chocolate chip cookie
You can't go wrong.
with salt on top.
Truly.
I'm like, could I eat it for breakfast? Yes. Have I eaten for breakfast? Absolutely.
I think we're all guilty of that.
Yeah.
It's hard walking through the kitchen now. The baking team, like 7 a.m., is pulling racks of cookies out of the oven. And I'm like, oh, for me? My doctor is like, no more cookies for breakfast. Hard-boiled eggs.
And you're like, no.
Yeah,
but
he
that's
doesn't
why
know
I
who
did
he's
this.
talking
Yeah.
to.
If you have to have one treat here, Which one is it, Katie?
Katie's a cookie a day kind of lady.
I really am a cookie a day kind of girl. And it's usually the chocolate chip cookie right out of the oven. If I'm getting one at room temperature, it'll be the peanut butter cookie. It's probably going to be a cookie. I'm simple in that way. Easy to please.
As the business has blossomed, so has the team to support it. And Katie has welcomed the creative collaboration. Case in point, Bread and Butter's hash browns. Well, one thing that is not simple that actually my server suggested today at Bread and Butter is the hash browns.
Yes.
As somebody who has some Scotch Irish background, I do love a tater.
Nice.
Good.
And, I especially love French fries. I mean, like, come on, any of it. And I've made hash browns at home. I like a Waffle House hash browns, but this is not a basic hash brown. It was shattery, so crispy. And I know how hard that must be to maintain quality in the kitchen to make that happen consistently. Can you walk us through a little bit of the process of the hash brown?
We did a little sun-dried tomato aioli with that just because we didn't want to put Heinz out on the table. We really wanted all aspects of what we presented to the guests to be done in-house. My sous chef, Sarah Grace, actually was the one who presented the hash brown concept. She said she wanted to do kind of a French traditional potato pave. We wanted them to be McDonald's-esque in the sense that we cut them in a square-ish shape.
They don't have the little cardboard sleeve.
That golden brown, the soft and steamy on the inside with that crisp texture on the exterior, just perfectly seasoned. So what we're doing is we're starting with a chipperbeck potato.
What is it again?
Chipperbeck potato.
I've never heard of this potato.
We've gone through a lot of trial and error picking the right potato.
Don't give away all the secrets.
It was the potato we landed on. We peel them, we grate them. They're cooked in oil. They're drained from that oil and seasoned. And then we press them out overnight. The next day, we cut them down into our portions and we serve them. It's about a 2-inch square, 3 on the plate, and that's the hash brown.
Wow. Well, they are crispy.
Yeah.
Crispy.
And golden brown.
And golden brown. And I think that attention to detail, that the different levels of process, I think a lot of people that gravitate toward eating in restaurants, they know that's what they're getting. Don't really want to do that kind of thing at home. Both Katie and Mark seem excited about their business, but there's also an air of calm confidence, even with the addition of a sit-down restaurant. That seems like a big contrast to me from the often harrowing world of small business ownership.
Yes.
There's a lot of waiting and baking. You have to wait for things to proof and wait for things to, is there other things? Bake.
Yeah.
Rest, relax.
Relax. Yes, I like to think about gluten having to have a nap after you work it.
Oh,
it's very fun.
If only you catch a nap with the bread. But we fill those windows of time pretty quickly.
So this is a huge difference from where you began. And a lot of bakers wouldn't consider having a sit-down restaurant as well. Mark, can you talk a little bit about going with the flow, which I need some advice on sometimes?
So going with the flow is actually how we ended up opening this place with the restaurant. We decided that we were looking for a larger facility, something that would kind of grow with our production. And we started shopping around. This was one of the first locations that we actually stumbled upon. We walked through. It was an immediate yes for Katie. Katie, we left here. Katie said, that's absolutely it. I want to move in there. And I said, it is so well built for a restaurant. Let's shop around and see. I don't know how we're going to fit a bakery in there and create the flow that we needed for our business. We wanted to open up a restaurant. That was our 5-year goals. We needed a facility to maintain the growth that we were seeing within our bakery. And every place that we looked at for the next 9 months as we were shopping around just reflected back to this one. It had a parking lot. It had a beautiful view. It had that space that would be able to create an experience for our customers coming in. And it just so happened to have a restaurant on the back end of it. So when we were going through the architectural planning and kind of envisioning how we were going to utilize the space. A brunch restaurant was no question. We had this beautiful space in the back here with a bar.
It's a daylight space.
It really, yes.
It really is. You know, the beautiful natural light and the tides outside and all that being reflected. It's the space that you want to be in during the day. It's not a nighttime restaurant. That's very smart.
It was captivating when we walked through it for the first time. I drove past this building probably 15 years ago when we moved into Savannah. It was at night, and Paula used to have her lights up in the trees. And I looked at Katie, I said, wow, that's absolutely a beautiful building. 15 years later, I never thought in a million years we would be coming around to actually look at the property and with a chance of it being ours. So it's there's a lot of beauty within this property here. And I'm still learning it. I'm still seeing it. It's a pinch me moment at the end of most days when Katie and I can stand out at the balcony and or on the deck or over at the vista and turn around and just look at the building and it's ours. You know, it's a beautiful view in one direction and turn around and have a beautiful building behind you as well too.
Behind every meal is a person with a story to tell and a larger cultural conversation. I'm David Page, Emmy-winning creator of Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. My podcast, Culinary Characters Unlocked, explores the people and issues shaping how we eat. From immigration and tariffs impacting restaurants, to conversations with culinary trendsetters, the serious and the fun side of food. Culinary Characters Unlocked, every Tuesday, wherever you listen to podcasts.
If you're headed to Auspicious Baking Brunch, bank a little extra time to watch the bakers perform practical magic through those large windows. Showing labor in real time is important to Katie and Mark.
Baking is hard work. There's no doubt about it. I think if it was easy, you would see bakeries at every single corner. You want people to see the hard work that goes into it, the hours of shaping pastries, the time it takes into shaping bread, tossing 50 pounds of dough onto the table, repetitive laminating.
Speaking of forearms, right?
Oh, yes. Working the butter when you're getting ready to laminate. Yeah. You want to see that. You want somebody to eat a croissant and actually be able to see how much time and energy, how much effort we put into that. And I think it's very commonly overlooked when you're going to a grocery store and you're buying a loaf of bread or you grab some crescent rolls out of the home bake aisle. When we're doing it our way, it's a 3-day process for our croissant. It's a 48-hour process or a 36-hour process for our sourdough bread. And that's one thing that you put that love into it and it shows and it builds up that flavor and it creates that experience when somebody else is eating it. And I think that's really important for us, not only to share, but for people to see.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, I have to ask you, this has been such a banner year. So what's next? What is making you hungry? Breathing, sitting,
getting our head out of underwater,
napping.
What's next is definitely, I think, continuing to build our team so that Mark and I can return to assuming our ownership role. Obviously, we were very much the owner operator, and through the last several months, moving into this project, adding the second bakery, adding a restaurant to what we do, we're just getting our footing. We're just getting the final pieces of the team in place, and I think now it'll be great to step back and see the team flourish. Everyone's getting really comfortable in their new spaces. The managers are really getting strong with their assistant managers that we've put into place. And I just really think that's probably the next step for us is to step back and let them take that pride in ownership now. Yeah, I really look forward to it. It was a very unexpected part of our business as we growing our team. The original goal was to always maintain a business that we could do ourselves. But we quickly realized probably in the first year of operating that was extremely unrealistic if we wanted to grow.
This is so true.
So here we are now. We've got about 80 people in the schedule across the 3 businesses.
Amazing.
And we've got about 25% of that is management team. So it takes a lot of people to get this done.
Yeah. What about for you?
I'm right on the same page there. I think the learning growth that we're going through is having a team that we've built, but having that trust in that team that they can handle and problem solve anything that comes across. And we're here to be able to help out and contribute our knowledge and our problem solving skills and stuff as well too. But for us to be able to watch our team flourish and for them to come in and still flex some of the skills that they have and it keep us fresh in a way, but that growing from the owner operator into an owner where you can view in on the work that we've put in, it has been a transition, and I cannot understate the hard work that is alone. It is just as hard as shaping 500 loaves of bread.
I'm going to tell you, I hear this so often because people get into it to do the craft thing.
Yes.
But in order to do the craft thing, you end up having often to be the owner thing.
Yes.
Right. And it's different skill sets that are often in conflict
with each other.
One another. So what is one aspect of your job that meshes with an aspect of your personality?
I love to fix things. I am very much a problem solver, but I love to see how something works. And that is from the equipment to the flow of operations. That functionality is something I thrive in. I used to do a lot of work on small engine repairs and cars as a teenager and as I was growing up. And I don't think there's much of a difference. It's like a fine-tuned engine, having 80 people running around and working on the same project. Everybody's working together to move it forward. And I think that's how it kind of meshes in with me. And that's where I think my skills and my natural gifts can contribute to this business.
Which is satisfying.
Yeah, very much so.
It's satisfying. Yeah. What about for you, Katie?
I think at the end of the day, one of my larger personality traits is definitely that I like to be in control. So being the owner of the company.
It works for you.
And the executive chef, I think it's probably the best position for me. We joke we could never go back to working for other people because we've just been doing things our way for so long now. Right. This is the only way now.
Well, in my world, I call it feral. Like, I'm done. I can't go back to, people are like, maybe you should get another office job. And I'm like, by the way, you know how media is, right? Mm-hmm. So like, you get it, you don't have it. You get it, you don't have it. But also too, like, I don't think I can do it.
Yeah.
So, and I think some of the times I've tried have proven that, and my bosses might say the same thing. So quickly together, what is one thing that is keeping you up at night?
Definitely, we're constantly fueled by how to better where we are, how to make the environment better for the guests coming in, how to streamline some of our processes so it's easier for the staff. And it's things like that we'll get out of a 9-10 hour day, go home, and then for 3 hours at the dinner table, be talking about all these things that we could be doing better or things that we want to get to, projects that we have on our agenda. So I think that's probably keeping us up at night.
I think with any business, of course, we're looking at the future. That's where our roles lie. But there's always the keeping it going, or in the positions that we're at, we're constantly problem solving. The customers come in and they experience, hopefully they experience a great time. They have a good experience. They maybe meet a neighbor or have a connection with somebody, an employee of ours, or with Katie and I directly. But I think what really keeps me up at night is maintaining that completely through, but still solving the 10 problems that we run into at the end of the day. And those are the behind the scenes that nobody sees, So you're going home and you're either a review or a piece of equipment or an employee. And these are just normal struggles that I think every business owner in our shoes sees. Mm-hmm. But those are the little things. I joke about with our employees. I remember when I used to leave work and I have to worry about all the refrigerators running all night long, or the air conditioning is staying strong.
Right.
So those are the little things that I think might keep me up at night there.
I understand, but it also really engages you, right? We're problem solvers, but more than that, we solve puzzles. Mm-hmm. So you've created a complicated puzzle for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you're like, true. how can we make this work? How can we find those corner pieces?
Yeah.
Right?
It's not a flat puzzle anymore. I think we've graduated to like the 3D puzzles.
Yeah, too hard for me. Too hard for me. So I'm so happy to finally have a chance to meet you. Both, I have heard such great things about Auspicious for a couple of years. And when I was working on the 10th anniversary season, I just knew you had to be a part of it. So I'm glad I wrangled you here today. The final question I reserve just for Southern Fork guests. It's lovingly called by my listeners the magic picnic basket question. And this is a question that I really derived out of the death row meal idea. I think a lot of listeners that have listened to me for a long time will know that I don't believe in the death penalty. So instead of asking about that, I decided to ask about what would bring you life. And as culinary professionals, we are always shifting and changing our tastes, right? Ooh, we just had this great thing. Y'all are traveling, you call yourselves foodies, and you're somewhere and you just go, oh my God, I just had this thing, and you're all sharing it. So what goes in the picnic basket always changes, but I'd love for you to build one together. So with this basket, I can time travel. I can go back and ask anybody to make one more bite of something you would like. I can source a little bit and I can cook. Although I do make a mean pound cake. I ain't making it for you.
I'll try it.
I understand, but I don't need that critique. So I'd love to bring you some of your favorite things. They don't have to go together. It can be all carbs. So what can I put in the basket?
Anything cauliflower. I do love hummus.
Whoa, cauliflower. Like what?
Like a cauliflower nerd.
Like cauliflower pizza?
Anything. So
Roasted
there's a phenomenal fried cauliflower that you can get at Shuck. I think it's like a chickpea flour. It's close to like a tempura batter, and then she's deep frying it, but it's definitely marinated in like a yogurt or something delicious.
Yeah.
There's also a phenomenal cauliflower dish at Eden Supper Club. It's like a cauliflower cacio de pepe. I'm just obsessed with cauliflower. If it's presented, I'll eat it. If it's paired with hummus, twice as good.
So hummus is in there?
Yes, definitely.
Excellent. What about for you?
Ooh. I have to lean towards something with some like roasted peppers. If we're sticking with food, I'll walk through the kitchen here, and if there's roasted peppers and something, I just start to salivate. It's just like an instant hunger. Yeah, there's something there. And don't forget the pasta. I think pasta's been a childhood thing of mine. Just a little snap back to when I was a teenager growing up.
What's your favorite pasta dish?
Oh, good old lasagna, or even just a red meat sauce, like a bolognese over spaghetti.
Mm-hmm.
Just I can eat that every day of the week.
That's great.
That's probably what I cook most at home, to be honest.
Classic.
Yes.
Classic move.
Definitely.
Thank you both for joining me today on a Saturday afternoon where it is incredibly gorgeous in Savannah, Georgia.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yes.
And that's the show for today. This podcast is produced in-house by the Southern Fork, and the theme music is the song Memphis Bound from Songs for Rosetta by Jimbo Mathis and his Knockdown Society, released in 1997 and including violin on this track from Andrew Bird. Mathis, who generously allowed me to use this music here, has been my lifetime musical Pied Piper, and Bird, one of my creative catalysts, so I'm grateful to share their sound with you through this show. If you like what you've heard today, please send it to somebody you'd like to sit across the table from, and please support all the creators featured here. Until next time.